It's true, bamboo bedding is dreamy to sleep on. That's why Quince aptly named their Bamboo Dream Quilt Set. Coming in 12 colors, you're absolutely going to love this quilt and 2 shams set. Starting at the softest of pinks and going all the way to a dark navy. It's going to be perfect for anyone's room. Your own, your guest rooms, your kids' rooms, maybe even back to the dorm bedding. Quince has everything you need to elevate your space, from bedding to soft organic towels, airy curtains, and premium kitchen tools designed for everyday use. And of course, as you know, Quince has gorgeous cashmere and other wardrobe essentials. And the best part, Quince's products are half the cost of similar brands. They partner with top artisans and cut out the cost of the middleman, passing the savings on to us. Thank you, Quince. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, so you can feel good about your purchases from Quince. Elevate your space with home essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. Our sleigh bells are ringing. How about yours? Hey everybody, it's Kelly Wilkness and I'm here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today we're talking about Christmas 2024 and what we are doing to decorate our homes. And it's going to give me a good jump start. So I'm glad we're talking about it early enough so I can do all the things I'm planning.
Well, this is so good that we're doing this because I have to go through this anyway. A lot of times people already have it in mind what they're going to do. But if you recall, this time last year, we were in the middle of a big move. Yeah. And we just put up one tree, and that was only because there was going to be such sadness if we didn't do that. That was really all I had time to do. And then we've rearranged the furniture since then. So even where I had the tree last year is not going to work. So we're really starting from scratch here. And this is a really good exercise for me to think through all of this.
We wanted to give you some ideas in general about Christmas decorating and some creative ideas that we've come up with specifically for this year. I do like to try a little something new each year, although I'm much more of a traditionalist when it comes to Christmas time. But I like to add in a little bit of something new, whether it's just a new way of putting things together that I have, or something fun for the table. So I've got a couple of ideas that I'm going to share today. What are you thinking about doing in your own home?
Well, I've already started with a few things. So one of the first things I did was look around, and I had a bunch of summer pink scalloped pillows around, and I've already picked all those up, and I've added my white furry pillows everywhere. So that was and we've already talked about that in some of our other episodes, but I actually do what we talk about in the episode. So that's already happened.
We do take our own advice.
That's right, as much as we can. One of the things that I'm excited about using this year is something I really got very recently, and that is a domed cheese plate in our Christmas boat pattern. And this was a wonderful Christmas gift. Kelly, I didn't even buy it for myself. Somebody gave it to me. So I'm going to have that sitting out. I have a white soup tureen right now on the countertop, so I'm going to take that off and put this Christmas piece there. It's really pretty, and I think that's going to be the start in this area. You know, as I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I use the green Spode Christmas plates, and although I don't like green and red in general, because I don't like to be held to that, because I think there's so many other beautiful colors to use, I am adding some red and green plaid plate chargers to my table this year. So I'm going a little in the traditional direction on that.
Wow. And the plate chargers, which we talked about in our Setting a Gorgeous Table episode, which we did recently. So yeah, taking some of our own advice there. I love it. And I like how you're saying about how you took a tureen away that you have, and then you're replacing it for the holidays with something that is a little bit more holiday ish, a little bit more festive, maybe a little bit more in the color palette or traditional color palette of the season. I like decorating that way too. You know, I've talked about my hot spots. So I'll just take things out of my decor hotspots and replace it with something that is seasonal. And so I'm not leaving everything out and then adding some more stuff on top of it. So I'm just then you're feeling kind of like you have too much stuff. So I do the same sort of idea, swap things out.
I think that is definitely the way to go. I don't think you can add it to what you already have unless it's very, very minimalist. So I think we are talking about changing things out. So I so agree with what you just said.
We're having a real tree. We have always had a real tree except for one year where I was deep in the forest with Balsam Hill, and I had
Weren't
to
we
use,
all?
we were just a bunch of bloggers on a winter journey through Balsam Hills forest, and I had to use their tree, and I didn't want to then get a big real tree because it was a big fake tree. And no diss on the Balsam Hill, but we're just a real tree family. And people felt a little, even though they didn't say it, I think they felt a little wah-wah about that tree that year. It's a beautiful tree. And if you feel more comfortable using a faux tree, if it makes more sense for you, then I am all for it, for you and your family.
I am using the fake trees. I love my Balsam Hill tree. I think I have 2. Well, I've given so many to Evie. I think I'm down to just 2 here. But one year I had the real tree and I don't know what happened. Housekeeper was there, came home, tree on its side, water all over the floor. And that was the end of it for me. I just said, I'm done.
Mm.
I cannot have this. It just ruins your wood floors. So yeah. But I do like the look of it, so I admire you for doing that.
Well, I have a method of protecting the floors, but when I say never again is the end of the season, or when the tree is ready to come down and it's crunchy and you're ready to let go of the little white lights and all of that. I'm always the person who has to take all the decorations off because nobody likes to do that because there is no joy in that.
I have no help with that.
No help with that.
Well, the problem is it's no longer a present delivery device. There's no interest in it at my house once the presents
There's nothing new under
gone.
it. What is going on here?
Why would I have any interest in it? It's like it's dead to me now.
Truly. I mean, literally and figuratively.
Literally.
For me, getting a dried 9 to 10 foot tree carcass out of your house is hard.
Well, you're really convincing me to go with that real tree, Kelly.
Yeah, because rigor mortis has set in. So you're dragging a lot of stuff with you if you just turn that tree on its side and try to run out the front door. So I cut off all the branches, and then I do use those branches in my garden because it sort of, rejuvenates the soil, and the needles, even though they're deceased needles at that point, dropping, they're adding nutrients to the garden. So I do try to reuse it in that way rather than just dragging the tree out and leaving it on the curb for the trash people to take away. So if you're kind of crazy like me and you like your garden and it is difficult to get the entire tree in its triangular form out of your house, I can suggest you doing that. But when you've got your hair stuck in various branches and you got your clippers and you're trying to get it all off, and then you realize there's still a string of lights stuck on there, and right? It's not that fun. And you want to move on to organizing your house because it's January and you want to do something like go to the container store. Right, exactly. Now I'm talking myself out of it, but it's already been ordered and our tree is arriving. Probably by the time this goes live, our tree will be up and ready to roll. I do love it. And we order the tree every year. The girls' high school, that's one of their big fundraisers for the athletics department. So the athletic boosters have a tree and wreath sale and all of that. So it's kind of
supporting a good cause too.
Yeah. So it's just an all around feel good. We drive into campus and they put the tree on your roof and the girls get to see people they know. And then we come home and decorate it. So that'll be fun. So definitely real tree for our crew.
Well, I think that makes sense. You're certainly not convincing me that's what I want. But...
Not good marketing for the
yeah, that was pretty bad marketing.
But, yes,
but I can see. Well, and this, that smell is lovely. having the beautiful tree in the house. Really, my question is, am I putting up a second tree? Where is the one tree going? And am I doing a second one? Because before I had one in the living room, one in the dining room, and we had a pretty open concept house, but the dining room was separate. Now we're in a Texas farmhouse out in the countryside, and the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, it's all one big room. There's not really room for two trees. We're just going to be able to have one tree, and that may end up having to be right in front of the fireplace. So I really don't know where it's going to go.
It's going to be fun to figure that out.
Is it? Well, you need to come here and help me figure it out then.
Well, at least it's not a live tree with sloshing water and you got to drag it all around your house.
Yeah. Well, we rearranged the room since I had the tree up last year. So it's going to be a little more difficult to find.
Wait a minute. Have you been in that house more than a year?
Well, a year this month.
Oh, wow. Okay. Time flies.
I know. So I'm thinking the second tree is smaller. I might even put it upstairs. That's where Evie stays. There's a little sitting area there with the TV. That's where we watch TV. So that might be a nice place to put it, and then that's where the study is and where guests stay. So I might do that.
Yeah, you'll see it a little bit more and enjoy it if you're in there going for your destination TV watching.
That's right. And we love that, by the way.
I'm just doing one big real tree. I do have a little tinsel tree that I love. I got it at some estate sale many years ago. It's from Germany, and it's really one of those Charlie Brown type of tinsel trees, the very European look. You would love it.
I love those. We have one. I gave it to Evie, though, so I no longer have it. So.
Oh, my gosh. No one's getting this one. I'm taking this one with me. Every year, because the tinsel is so
vintage?
Old. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's super old. It came in the box.
How tall is it?
Oh, it's not too tall. It's maybe, 30 inches, something like that.
Oh, okay. I think mine's shorter than that. Yeah. Or, excuse me, my ex tree.
Oh, your former tree. Yes.
Well, it's out in the barn. So technically, if she doesn't take it, I could use it.
Yeah. Well, you see. Don't mention it until if you decide you're going to put it up.
Of course. But I forgot the critical point. Hey, wait a minute. That's my tree. You stole it.
Oh, yeah. Once you decorate it and everything, she'll just take the whole thing all decorated.
Oh, exactly.
So my palette is going to be traditional reds and greens. That same year, when I went deep into the Balsam Hill Forest with the fake tree, I used a different palette. I used metallics and grays, and that was kind of when gray was really hotty hot. So again, time flies. That was a long time ago.
Okay, so those ornaments, the ornaments I got from Balsam Hill were stunningly beautiful. I still have them. I still use them. What did you do with those?
Oh, I still have them all. They're beautiful, and they're golds and silvers, and I work them in, but I had no red, and the green was the tree.
So when did you go green and red?
I've always did green and red, and then I didn't do it that year.
Oh, okay.
And it was much more of I don't want to say, not a theme. I've never done a theme tree, but it was much more of a tree like you would see in a department store or in the Balsam Hill catalog. It was beautiful, but it didn't have any of our personal ornaments on it that year.
Okay.
And no one liked it.
Oh, really?
So I tried that. No one really liked it. It was very pretty, but it just didn't feel like our tree. I love taking out all the handmade stuff and all the reds and greens and the macaroni ornaments. And I have a lot of little frames that are ornaments, tiny little ones that, there was little pictures of the girls, like, those little pictures you would get from school where they'd have the 5x7, and then on the side they'd have all those little tiny 2x2s or whatever, 2x3s. So I filled up those frame ornaments with pictures throughout the years and things like that. So I really enjoy doing that, and that's the fun of putting the tree up. I feel. I mean, I do want a beautiful tree. I think it is beautiful, but it's very personal.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. So have you tried Dupe yet? If you haven't, come on, dupe.com. It is going to be your new shopping best friend. And it's not just for furniture. I know I've shared with you about my coffee table dupe, but you can save money with Dupe on fashion, shoes, jewelry, and more. I just use Dupe to find an absolute perfect twin of this t-shirt that I wanted. It was an $80 t-shirt. I was not going to pay $80 for a t-shirt. Dupe helped me find the twin, like maybe the exact same shirt. Find something you love, and then you can find replicas, twins, and maybe the exact thing for so much less. Give Dupe a try today. It is really so easy to use. You just type dupe.com / before any product URL in your browser, and voila, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account is required. No sign up is required. It is completely free. I know, can you believe it? But it is completely free to use. Stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today.
Well, I have some dried boxwood wreaths, so that is my real greenery, and I do love using real greenery as well. So I have some dried boxwood wreaths that I'm going to get out and set those around because they are real. They're not going to really hold up outdoors, so I use those inside. And then I have several mini boxwood wreaths, and I'll include a link where you can get your own. But these are really pretty, and they're just beautiful, maybe hanging on a window or hanging on the front of maybe an armoire or a chest of drawers. Just these little mini wreaths. They're really pretty, and they hang by a ribbon. I think that's such a lovely look. And for my wreaths that are outside, I still have some beautiful ribbon from previous years that I really couldn't find a great place to use, but it was amazingly beautiful. It was Balsam Hill. So I'm thinking about making some beautiful big bows to put on the wreaths that I really have year round on my front door, and then just take the ribbon off when the season's over.
Perfect. I love that idea. So I've talked about a real tree. My palette's going to be the reds and greens. And I'm not saying it doesn't have to be that bright, bright red and the bright, bright green. Variations of tones and shades of greens, and then using the family ornaments on the tree and stuff. But where you can kind of take up your game a little bit and maybe freshen up your look is your tree skirt. So if you're thinking along the same lines that I am, and then you take your tree skirt out and it kind of looks like it's maybe brocaded. I don't know. It just kind of looks like you bought it 25 years ago, which probably you did, think about switching that out, because that can really make the tree, the whole appearance of the tree, feel a little bit fresher and newer. I love using a fur tree skirt.
Nice.
Yes, I did get, in that same Balsam Hill year, I did get a fur tree skirt. It's a dedicated fur tree skirt. But if you had a furry throw, you can wrap any throw around the bottom of a tree. And I kind of like that kind of wrapped, shawly look that you can get if something is wrapped around the bottom of a tree and you've got enough fabric, or the throw is big enough, or the blanket. So you can use just about anything, kind of like Anita always talks about on your dining table. You can throw a quilt over it. You could throw a plaid blanket over it. Well, you can do the same thing with the base of your tree, and you can probably spend a lot less on something if you are buying something new, because once they call it a tree skirt, for some reason, they're super expensive.
Well, here's a thought. My mother-in-law had a mink coat.
Oh, I love this idea.
Yeah. So, I don't wear it anywhere, but I haven't had the heart to get rid of it. So I'm thinking, what about that? It kind of reminds me, I don't know if you ever watched the Ellen show, not the talk show, but when she had a sitcom, and her mother had given her a wedding dress that she was never going to use. And so she was having a Martha Stewart themed party. So she draped her wedding dress over the table and used it as a tablecloth. That's what it reminds me of. So why not use that old mink coat around the base of the tree?
I love that idea. So you've never done that before? You're thinking about doing it?
I have not done it, but I don't know.
This is your year. This is your year. We want to hear about it. In January, we want to hear all about it. So yeah, think about it. Yards of material, throws, even an old tablecloth. I was reading some magazine, it might have been Veranda, last weekend, and sure enough, there was a gorgeous table set with a cantha throw. So they must be listening, Anita, because I know you talk about that. So a cantha throw, or any kind of throw that you could wrap around the bottom of your tree. Absolutely lovely. And something new without really even needing to buy something new. I'm sure you have some sort of throw or something around the bottom you could try, or an old make. Love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. And I have some golden angels that I need to pull out. I have some sparkly, crystally reindeer that I need to set out. The problem is there isn't enough space to display everything, but I do have several things. So I'm going to need to go through everything, kind of make a Sophie's choice here, what's going to be used. And then I'll need to set it all out.
Excellent point. You don't need to use everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some things can go back in the bin and you just say, I'll see you next year. And if you said that to that item or those items over the course of several years, maybe it's time to let them go into the universe and somebody else might really enjoy them. And if you're doing this in early December, that's a great time to donate holiday decor, because there's definitely somebody out there looking to add something new and will be thrilled to find yours at the Goodwill or Salvation Army or where have you, and be able to incorporate it in their look. So think about that. Maybe it's time to let a few things go, but you do not have to take everything out. If you've been collecting this sort of stuff for a number of years, you probably have too many things to all set out at the same time. You talked about wreaths. So I remember putting my wreath away last year and thinking, next year I need to do something to freshen this up. It looked fine and from a distance, and it's the one I hang outside, and I don't put it on my door because we have a old screen door that was original to the house, and it just can't accommodate, and I can't put it on my inside door because then it gets squashed. I put it just a little bit to, well, if you're inside, to the left on the wall as you come in, and it looked great, fine from out there, but it just needs some freshening. So what I'm going to do this year is use the base of a faux wreath. You could also use a real wreath if you wanted to. You know, when you see the wreaths in the catalogs or in a magazine, they're so full and just layered with different kinds of greenery and maybe berries and things like that. So you can get that look for a lot less than what you would spend on a wreath that you might order already done like that. So if you have the base of a faux wreath, and it doesn't even have to be a very expensive faux wreath because you're going to cover a lot of it up, or you want to go with the real one, then get either by foraging around your neighborhood or in your yard. I mean, obviously don't steal from your neighbor, but you know, if it's kind of fallen or it's hanging over your yard, maybe you can cut it off, or go to a place like Trader Joe's or go online at A Floral and get some stuff that's going to last for a couple of years. And then you bundle it. So you maybe, depending on the size of your wreath, maybe you make 5 or 7 bundles. Maybe you're putting in some seeded eucalyptus and maybe some other type of greenery that has a different shape, like maybe something that is more sword shaped, maybe something that has some berries on it, and you tie those together. So you're going to make like 5 or 7 different little bunches. And I say little, they're not that little. It really depends on the size of the wreath you're working with. And then once they're tied together, then you're going to tie them on, and you can use twine or you can use maybe a green wire, and you're going to tie them onto your wreaths. Obviously, you don't want to see the ties, so you kind of slide them in between the branches of the existing wreath, make the ties in the back of it, and you'll have this incredibly full, extra special 3-dimensional wreath that really didn't cost you very much money. So that's what I'm going to do to my wreath that really looks like it's kind of gotten squashed down over the last several years being in the boxes. And every time it comes out, it looks a little more squashed than the year before.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And I love your idea of bringing in some greenery. We actually have cedar trees here, and I have used those cuttings before. But to be honest with you, they just don't look that good in the house. They don't look as good as like a fir or some of these other evergreens. So I'll be going to Home Depot and seeing if there's any branches maybe on the ground that they're getting ready to sweep up and pick up a few of those, or maybe some of my neighbors.
You. Give me that broom.
Well, I usually go in and say, do you mind if I pick these up off the floor? They always say, no, not at all. And then I grab some and then put them on my mantle because they're not selling them. They're not, they're They're just, it's saving them time picking them up off of the floor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you do get a real tree and you go to a tree yard to have it done, usually they'll give you a fresh cut on the bottom. And sometimes that involves cutting off some of the bottom branches.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously you can take your own branches, but they might have other branches that, again, they would just be throwing out. So you could ask for them.
And I have a few bottle brush trees. I used to have a lot of them, but I've gotten rid of all of them except just a few pretty large ones. So maybe like 12 inches tall. Just big enough that you can really notice them. If they're the little 3 or 4 inch, I don't really think they're worth using unless it's in a cloche or something contained.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to put those somewhere, probably upstairs maybe, because I have 3 of them and I think they look really pretty together. And so that's another option too. And mine are actually turquoise. So I don't really want to put them with the red and green. I don't think that's going to be a good look. So I will put those in a different part of the house.
Here's something I'm going to do that's new and I think will be a little fun. Anita has talked to you in years past about the crackers around the Christmas table, which is so fun when they pop.
Oh, yeah. We're getting ready to get them.
Okay. Well, mine are not going to pop, and I think that's going to be okay. I decided to get some new napkins this year. I'm doing a red and black buffalo check because I love a check.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty, right? So I have a link in the show notes to the set that I got. They're 12, 20 by 20. They're so big that I thought I could roll things up and sort of make kind of like a Tootsie Roll shape, just like a cracker would be where you're tying the two ends.
Well, you better warn people so they don't shake it out over the floor.
Well, they probably won't be able to because you'll have to untie it.
Oh, okay.
And, I'm not going to have a massive amount of people, so I think I can just pass it along to the few people that will be here.
Will you be having the paper party hat and the terrible joke in there too?
I might do something a little more inspirational.
Oh.
Thinking about what will go in there. And I honestly don't want my cracker to be a crapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want crap that somebody's just going to throw away, or you're like, what do I do with this? Like the kids' goodie bags, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say half the stuff we get in those, we do throw away. But for like $25, $30, we get things like fingernail clippers and little magnifying glasses and things like that. It's not the plastic stuff.
Yeah.
So it's, sometimes it is actually, or like a little keychain that you would actually use. So I think you spend a little bit more. But yeah, if you do the $8 ones, the $9 ones, it's just going to be plastic stuff that you really are just going to throw away.
Right. So I'm still figuring out, what will be in there. And because obviously I know who's coming to my Christmas dinner and it's mostly just my immediate family, I might add a name tag to them and then I can be very specific. So I might do something like, kind of stuff that might be in the girls' stockings. Like maybe I'll put a little gift card in there. And I thought we could do the hats because I could just make a little crown out of wrapping paper. Because most of those, I looked up what's inside crackers. Most of the hats are just made of paper.
Very, very thin paper that rips at the least provocation.
So I figured I could do that because I know you have mentioned that it's fun to make everybody wear the silly hat. So I thought we would try that this year. It's not something we've really done too much in the past. So, and I got these new napkins coming. So I thought they're big enough. It'll be fun. And again, something that's going to be a little bit different and maybe conversation sparking and something that, we'll just keep the festivities going throughout the day for us.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think my mom's going to wear her hat, which is going to violate the Christmas meal rule at our house. But
well, maybe put a little bobby pin in there.
We'll make an exception. Well, no, it'll mess up her hair. See, so I won't make her wear hers. Maybe they have a visor version. That
there you go.
Hair.
There you go. So, what are we defining today?
Today we are defining tulipiere.
Ooh.
It is a tulip holder, an ornate vessel that is used to display tulips and is usually made of handcrafted pottery, traditionally Delftware. That's why often they are blue and white. They're typically constructed to accommodate one bulb per spout with a larger common water reservoir base. So these are often pagoda shaped, so they're kind of wide at the bottom and narrower at the top. And, some of the simpler ones are maybe like, maybe 6 or 8 inches tall, but they make them even 3-4 feet tall as well. So they can be very ornate and really breathtaking to look at. So these are really amazing pieces of artwork. They were common during the 17th century. They were used for tulips, crocus, and hyacinths, but obviously they got their name from the tulips. All of these flowers were very exotic at the time, and only the very rich could afford them. And the tulipiere was also very expensive, as you can imagine. So only the very wealthy could afford them. So they were really a status symbol at the time. So my favorite kind is the one in the shape of the pagodas. I've seen some white ones, blue and white ones. If you want one, they're kind of hard to find, but Etsy and eBay have several of them.
Are you finding mostly vintage ones or newer ones?
Well, both. They actually do still make them, but it's a very niche market.
I would imagine.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you're not going to find them at just anywhere. So that's a place that you can go, and there were quite a few. But yes, some of them were brand new. If you don't mind the tulips drooping over.
Tulips are a little hard to manage in a vase. I love when they do that kind of crazy, like drooping, and they kind of looks like a Dutch master after a day or two. I love that. But yeah, they don't stay where you put them, and they grow in the vase, which is so interesting.
I found some contradictory information online. Some sources said that they were actually used to grow the tulips in at one time. I'm having a hard time believing that, but maybe it's the case.
You're like,
because
I just can't get my head around that.
Well, I'm just thinking, where would the bulb go in here? The openings for the tulips are very small, and they're open all the way down to the bottom. So it seems like they would have to be constructed in a very different fashion if you have the bulbs in there. So that's why I'm having a hard time imagining that, but perhaps those were made differently than they are now, or those people just got it all wrong and they were always just used to display them. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, just another example of there being a lot of misinformation out there online. So you got to be careful. But now we know. That is great. Lovely. Okay, on to our crushes. What are you crushing on?
Well, remember our episode on how to set a beautiful table?
It's etched in my memory, yeah.
Isn't it? I loved that episode. Well, I failed to mention a book that I love about table setting. And so it's going to be my crush today. I really meant to mention it in that episode, but it's by the creators of the Jaluska tableware and stemware, and it's called Together at the Table. It is a beautiful book, has gorgeous tablescapes. It's really so inspirational. There's beautiful flowers on the tables, but the Jaluska people make dinnerware. They make serveware. They make all this tableware, but it's so beautifully done. I think it is definitely worth it. It's so inspirational. There's so many great ideas. And even if you don't use their dishes, you can see how they put things together, mixing and matching. And so I really think it is a beautiful read.
Oh, nice. That's lovely. And as a dish lover, I mean, you just must have really, really enjoyed looking at that.
Well, yes, I did. So I'm trying to stop myself from saying, oh, I need this piece. Oh, and they actually sell some tulipieres, by the way.
Oh, wow. It's all coming together now. It's all starting to make sense.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your crush?
It's a Christmas item that is very inexpensive that you might want to add. And it's got definitely a traditional and throwback feel. It's tinsel. And tinsel is very on trend for Christmas 2024. So it's just the sparkly silver tinsel strands, and you may remember that. It used to come in a thin little box, and it would be wrapped around some cardboard, and you would droop it on your tree branches, and, kind of has this obviously very sparkly, but it kind of that sense of like snow, kind of, but it's not snow, it's tinsel. So Tinsel Bright Star is the company, and even the packaging is really retro looking. I love it. They call them icicles. So Tinsel Bright Star icicles. I know Jackie O used that at the White House Christmas tree. And there are different ways that you can put your tinsel on. Now, when I was growing up, my mom would have me take all the strands and count them out. I don't know, let's just say maybe 8 or 12. Oh, she kept me busy, that woman. I would make piles or, long strands, and where not piles, but your strand would be straight. And then you put 12 or however many she wanted. And then we would put them on each branch very methodically. Whoa. And then there are people that would just throw their tinsel on the tree. So
this must have been a week-long chore.
Well, yes, this is out because our tree, when I was growing up, maybe this is why I do a real tree now, was definitely a Sears model that had the little paint on the ends of the branches. So you would say, okay,
that must be what the rich people had. Ours didn't have that. And we just threw the tinsel at the tree. I didn't know there was another way.
I think you're going to like my mom's way. And so you would separate the colors. And so that would be the size of the branches. And then you would stick them in the coordinating holes. So I liked doing that too. I liked organizing from a very, very small age. Whether it was forced upon me or I naturally came to it, I don't know. But I love it. And so, and that's how we did our tinsel at my house growing up. And I have not used tinsel for many years. So I got some tinsel this year, and maybe you want to too. So it's linked in the show notes.
Well, not if I have to count it out. Is that required?
Have some eggnog and throw the tinsel at the tree. It might be very freeing. It might feel good. Maybe I should try that.
Okay. Well, I'll keep this in mind. It does look really pretty, and we did have that as a kid, and I don't think I've used it as an adult, but I do remember the box saying, I think it did say icicles back in the day.
Icicles, yeah. And if I can find something where Jackie O's was used, I don't know if Jackie put her tinsel on or somebody did it for her, but I think I know. It was used in the White House. So it's of that era. And it is on a top trend for Christmas 2024. So here we come. It's back again, like we say about a lot of the trends.
Wow. Yeah, it comes back around. Well, I think that's a great idea. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.